You are judged by the company that you keep. You're judged by the company you keep, or at least you are on social media. Paul Ingrassia, you shouldn't even know about this guy. And now this guy has just been nominated by Donald Trump to head the Office of Special Counsel. Not what you think. It's the office devoted to ethics and whistleblower complaints. In other words, the person who's the ombudsperson for the United States to make sure that federal workers aren't retaliated against for telling on their bosses. That's now Paul Ingrassia. What's his claim to fame? He's been a lawyer for a year. It's a legal position. That's one. Two, he's a social media hack for Donald Trump, self-professed. And the company he keeps, white nationalists like Nick Fuentes, 9/11 and Sandy Hook deniers like Alex Jones. And I mean, he supports them. He supports their theories. He is okay with the theory that 9/11 was an inside job of the U.S. government. And also is an attack dog for Donald Trump, going after people like Nikki Haley, calling her the B word, saying that she can't be an American president because her parents are from another country. You know, he's a beauty. He's a beauty. So that just shows you Donald Trump is just trashing and demoralizing another agency. We break it down for you on Legal AF, and here's the clip from the podcast.
Within the federal government, you have this Office of Special Counsel, which is usually led by, in Popok, lawyers with real distinction, right? Who have either been civil rights lawyers, or these are the types of people who are like, I can either become a judge, I can stay a partner at a firm where I'm earning 7 figures, I can give back and provide real service to the federal government for a few years, and as a matter of service, and protect whistleblowers within the federal government.
Well, like Hampton Dellinger, the guy the guy he canned, who's a friend.
So you have Hampton canned, and who comes in?
Okay, so Hampton Dellinger, who was Biden's, who, again, this is the ombudsperson position for whistleblowers in the federal government to feel like they can go complain and drop their whistleblower complaint and not be retaliated against, and it's like the ethics hotline and the whistleblower hotline for the federal government. It was created after Watergate. Donald Trump destroyed 3 major institutions in America almost at the same time: the National Labor Relations Board, the Merit Service Protection Board, and the Office of Special Counsel. He did it like within days of each other. The Merit Service Protection Board, about federal workers being protected, is effectively been trapped in amber and is on ice because he hasn't replaced the person he fired, and the Supreme Court let him fire him. And so they don't have a quorum, so they can't act. National Labor Relations Board, same thing. Protecting America's workers, all those unions that didn't support Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. What you get now? You got no place to go. You got no regulator because it's all been put out of business by Donald Trump. And then lastly was the Office of Special Counsel, which is not what it sounds like. Some people thought, oh, that's like where Jack Smith came from. I get it, but that's not what it is. It's just the title that they gave to this office. Hampton Dellinger, body of work, just unrivaled. Just bipartisan, independent, a lawyer's lawyer, comes from a long line of lawyers. His father, Walter Dellinger, was my constitutional law professor. I hung out at his house because we had a small class on a regular basis talking about con law. Solicitor General of the United States, shortlist for the U.S. Supreme Court. That's Hampton Dellinger's family. Donald Trump, I'd say it's comic relief, but it's just tragedy. He shits all over the office. I know I'm cursing so much on this trip. He craps all over the office by appointing a first-year lawyer. I should stop right there. Who is, because you're judged by the company you keep, especially on social media. He hangs around with, pals around with, and endorses the views of white nationalists like Nick Fuentes, Holocaust deniers, 9/11 deniers, supports Alex Jones and his comments about Sandy Hook massacre of children being an inside job or a false flag. Does the same for 9/11. Attention Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary, who lost 658 people of his employees on 9/11. You okay rubbing elbows with the guy who's now the future head of the Office of Special Counsel, who doesn't think that happened or thinks it was an inside job? Who went after Nikki Haley as a political hatchet man for Donald Trump, calling her the B word, saying that she wasn't qualified to be president because her parents were from another country. Okay. I could go on, and you and I do it in our own hot takes. This is the guy who got fired from one job already in the Trump administration. He was at the beginning the liaison between the White House and the Department of Justice until he got sideways with Pam Bondi's right-hand chief of staff. He tried to get him fired. The chief of staff got Paul Ingracia fired. He got transferred to Homeland Security, where he's been stashed away, and now nominated, wholly unqualified, obscenely unqualified for this position. What does it signal? It just means that Donald Trump doesn't give a rat's ass about and wants to weaponize an office that's about weaponization, that's about retaliation of whistleblowers and protecting them. If I'm a whistleblower now in the government and this is the guy running the ethics hotline, I hang up. So that's what Trump wants. He doesn't want whistleblowers. He doesn't want ethics charges. He just wants to put a joker in the spot because the other two, he figured out, well, if I just don't nominate anybody, they don't have a quorum, so they don't have to act. But I need to put somebody in the Office of Special Counsel, but I'll just put this joker in. And that guy was like, I'll do it. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So let me just fold it into one last point. I am very concerned. I just did my own hot take on this about recess appointments by Donald Trump in August, feeling emboldened and whatever by the bill being passed for the budget, which we'll use against him for the midterms. You can just hear it now. He talked about recess appointments where he'll get a year and a half of somebody being appointed through a commission without Senate confirmation. He's got 15 or 20 people in government, including U.S. attorneys like Alina Habba, including federal judges. It's never been done for a federal judge, but it could be, like Emil Bovee to be on the Third Circuit. Give everybody a year and a half when the August recess happens until they come back a year and a half later, and then he worries about confirmation at that point. The more I hear about Donald Trump doing things that we weren't expecting, if that's even possible, like Alina Habba for permanent New Jersey U.S. attorney, nominating this Senate, this person has to be Senate confirmed for this position. I now believe that he's going to try to shove all this down our throat at a Senate recess appointment in August. What do you think, Ben?
I agree with you. And I think that as you try to break this down in a way that's really simple to understand as well, whether it's a Paul Ingracia or that 20-year-old guy who they have leading counterterrorism at the Department of Homeland Security, right? Who's now like the number one person who's before he was like interning for Trump or something. They made him the number one guy.
Welcome back. For you law and politics nerds, I think your fix is Legal AF, the podcast. We founded it 5 years ago. We sit at the intersection of law and politics so you don't have to. We do it on Wednesdays and Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a 1 hour long podcast. And then we do updated hot takes on law and politics. I do 15 or 20 of them on the Midas Touch Network. And then we got a whole YouTube channel that stands on the shoulders of Legal AF called Legal AF, the YouTube, Legal AF MTN. We could use some help on the podcast. Views and downloads. More views we're looking for on YouTube. More downloads, audio downloads on things like Spotify and on Apple, and 5-star reviews, of course. So if you know about Legal AF, you're already a fan, really do appreciate you. Take that clip, send it off to people in your life, and ask them to support Legal AF, the podcast, and join our movement. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event, by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.